When we last left off of working on this tractor on our 6 volt to 12 volt conversion, the only thing we had to do is change our wires, spark plug wires, and our spark plugs. I already got the first one measured and cut the way it's supposed to be, and I'm going to do the rest of them like that. But while I'm doing that and measuring them and putting them where they're supposed to be, I'm going to replace these spark plugs. I'm going to need a 13/16 ratchet wrench and a spark plug gap tool. I went ahead and blowed off with air hose where we put all these spark plugs, so no dirt to get down into the cylinder here. I don't want to get no dirt in it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this first one out and check the gap on it. A little small gap, but we're gonna see what we got to do here. It was right there, so I'm gonna take my new one and do it the same way. Went ahead and got a master tune-up kit up at Tractor Supply. It comes with your distributor cap, all your points, and your condenser, and your rotary button. It comes with 4 spark plugs. We're gonna go ahead and take one of the spark plugs out and set it up for this. We got that one set right there, so we're going to put this one in the same spot. That's a little over. Okay. With this one being a little bit over where it's supposed to be, I'm going to go ahead and just tap it down a little bit. Then I'll set it where it's supposed to be. And right there is where it's supposed to be, so we'll go ahead and take that out. Put this new plug in. And we'll give it a little snug. Now we'll move on to our next one after we get this one put on. We'll move on to our next one after we get this one put on. Run all this down through here and down to our old distributor cap. Now we'll go to our next wire. Chase down where that one goes, and it should be right above it. Take it off. We'll take one of our wires here. Take this other long one. We'll see about where we want it. We'll put it right up here. So I'm going to cut it right there. Now this kit comes with these little rubber boots and these connectors. And what you got to do right here on your wire, you need a little bit of that sticking out. So we're going to take our knife and just cut off a little bit of it. Where you have just a little bit sticking out there. You go ahead and put this boot on there. Sometimes if it won't go, you can take a little bit of oil. And put on there. And it should slide right on. Then you make sure all your, okay, I dropped that. It went right here, I think. There it is. Make sure that goes in that little hole there. See, that was perfect. Now we're going to take our pliers and just barely squeeze on it so it won't back out. And that's our second wire done. We'll go ahead and repeat this process again. Measure what this one is. It's right in there. So the next one, we'll take and measure it. And I think that's right on the money. Yep, that's exactly where that one was. So we didn't have to set that one. We'll go ahead and chase this one down to where it's supposed to be. Then we'll go to our next one. It should be the bottom one. We'll get one of our next longer wires. I'll measure out this one like we did the others. Cut it right up here. And we got our little bit sticking out. Get our dipstick and get some more oil. Get one more of our connectors. Slide it on. Then that one's ready to go on. We'll go ahead and do that spark plug too. Okay, that's a little under, or a little over 0.030. Gotta tap that one down a little, and we'll reset it. A little over. Just move this on right there. It is. We'll set her in. run this back down to the bottom one. And then we'll get this third, or the fourth one. And this should be one of the short wires. Might not even have to cut it. I don't think I do. I lucked up on that one. There's that. I might go a little bit more with that one. There we go. Okay. Well, we got all that done. We'll do this last spark plug. Check it. It's just like the last one, so we'll go ahead and take this new one out. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to tap this one down too. Alright, now we got that one set. We'll run our wire. And that's that part done. Now we got to go to the front and take off our distributor. And we're going to take off this coil first. We'll take the coil off. And before we take the coil off, we got to take and unhook it from the wiring. But we'll take that coil off, then we'll take the distributor cap off of here. And most of these have the numbers written on them, but if you don't know, this one goes on the bottom over this one. It goes on the bottom of the distributor. This one goes on the top of the distributor on this side of the tractor. This one goes on the top on this side. This one goes on the bottom on this side. So we're gonna go ahead and take all that off, and I'm gonna try to do it while I got you guys with me. So we'll just undo this. That's a number 8. Let's see. We'll get that off. Just pull this forward. Coil will come off with the gasket, which it didn't do last time, but we don't want to lose that, so we're going to set it over here to the side. And this is where your condenser is, and all your other stuff's inside here. So we'll go ahead and unloosen this with these 2 clips. and we got to make sure which way our rotary button is pointed. So in this case, it's pointed straight down. When we put it back on, we want it to be in time, so we're going to put it back on the same exact way we take it off, with that facing straight down. You got 2 bolts holding this on. You got one right over here, and you got one down here. If you guys can see it, there's one there. So while I got this off, I'm gonna go ahead and put this part on, so I won't have to worry about that later. There's my new stuff in here. We'll set it right up there. And like I said, it's written on here, if you don't know, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the one at the front of the motor on right there. This is your second one. Goes on here. The third one goes here. And the fourth one goes here. Now we're going to take the distributor off. We'll put this up and out of the way. It should be. That come right off. I'm gonna go ahead and replace everything that's in here with this new stuff, and I'm gonna show you what all I'm gonna take off of here and what all I'm gonna put back. There's a little pin right here. I'm gonna bend it back, bend this pin back to where it's supposed to be, and I'm gonna pull it through. Put it over to the side. We're connected right up here, so we'll take this screwdriver and loosen that up. Be careful, it's got a spring on it. You don't want to lose your screw that's on it. I'm going to take my pliers and bend this back down so I can get my screw out. If it'll work with me here. There's part of it. We've got a little one right there. It's your washer. I don't want to lose that. All right. Let's just loosen up everything else first. I'm going to take this condenser up here, loosen it up. Need a bigger screwdriver for that. So we'll come back to that one. Take this off up here. Set your screw to the side. You got a couple more bolts right here you got to take off.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
this bigger screwdriver. We're going to take this off up here. Set it to the side too. Now all that's off. All this is loose. We will take this giving a little trouble. Hope hope that don't happen to the new one. We'll take this right off of there, and then we'll go ahead and put our new stuff on. This goes back on here, just like so. Get it down on there. And we're going to put our screws back in. Tighten that back down, and we'll adjust this. Then we will go ahead and put our new points in, ever so carefully. Just like so. Then we will bring this arm on around. That's what this washer is for, to put right here. But since I'm just going to use, I'm going to use this new washer. Put on here. And I'll put that down here. Let's see. I'm going to hold this like that, if you guys can see, and I'm going to attempt to put this back in here. Maybe it'll be easier if I do it like this. It's magnetic, so finally got it back in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this little pin in. Put this pin back in on this side right here, and we'll bend it around. Okay, now that that's in, we can worry about putting our condenser in, which is this new shiny one. We'll put this bottom one in first. Being some brass, it's going to be a little tricky to get back in there. Hold it right there and get it started. You're going to run your wire down through here and under here and back to it. And we're going to go ahead and tighten that down. Now for up here, we're going to tighten this one back down. Now you got that tight. Now that we got all of our new stuff on our distributor, we're going to check our points, which are right here. And when you turn this right here, it's got a lobe in it and it opens it up. We're going to take, a lot of people use a matchbook, but this is just about it right here. We're going to put this in between it. And see right there, it's a little tight. And adjust it, you either adjust it out like this to loosen it up, or you adjust it in, turn it toward that way, turn it that way, counter, or turn it clockwise to adjust it tighter. And you want it kind of loose, kind of like in between loose and tight here. So this right here should be perfect. You make sure you got it on the lobe and turn it back to where it was when you got it off, because you want it to be in time. And then I'm going to tighten this one back up. You want this a good little, you want it real snug, not to where you enough to where you break it, but just enough to where you know that it's not going to come back apart. All right. Now could stand to go a little bit tighter, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen it back up again. Tighten her up a little bit more. Right there is good. So I'll lock this one back down. That's perfect. It's always good to check and recheck yourself. See, now that is great. Now we can put our rotary button back on and set it back on our tractor. With this facing like this right here, it's up and down. It can only go back on one way that it is in here. You got a little slot in it right there, and it'll go back on that way. If you get it off by a little bit, it can get out of time. You want to make sure you put it on exactly the same way that you took it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my gasket back on this. Dad's gonna hold you just for a second. Put my gasket back on. And we will set this back on here. Making sure it's the same way it was. Now that we got that back on the way it's supposed to, the same orientation that you had it when you took it off, we'll go ahead and put our bolts back in. I'll tighten these back up. Now that that's back on, we'll go ahead and put our we'll put our distributor back in place. Don't want to get that around the fan, that would be bad. I'll latch that back on. There's that side. There's that side. We'll go ahead and put our coil, our 12-volt coil back onto it. Put our gasket right down here. Okay, now that's on. We'll reattach our wire. What? Really?
Did you?
Nope.
That's your old one?
Yep.
Thank God and great hell. I said there was, uh-oh. I know Mallory's loud. It's funny. He's hilarious.
I don't know what you was laughing at.
Well, I seen it and I said, oh my God, no.
Yeah, I just seen it a minute ago too. Now that we got all of the stuff that we overhauled this with, we're gonna go ahead and try to crank this up. Make sure it's out of gear. We learned from last time. And here we go.
Oh, computer. All right, let's put a hood on it.
Let's put the, okay, we want to see this thing running for real. Let's put this hood on it, get everything hooked up the way it's supposed to be, put the gas in it, and let's drive this sucker.